And today we have a very special Benekiva Minute. But before we get to our Benekiva Minute, I wanted to share that we woke up yesterday to some awesome LinkedIn news from Daily Finance. We've been selected among other Iowa fintech companies as one of the top fintech companies. And it was a blog to say, come check us out. So that was pretty cool. Right, Brent?
Yeah, it is. That's pretty cool. I think those types of lists are the ones that the ones you don't know about are the ones that I believe are more relevant because it's they're more earned as opposed to there's all kinds of lists out there that you can go and pay money to be on and to me I'd rather just not be on the list as opposed to having to pay to be on a list.
Yeah, exactly. When we shared this with one of our employees who's worked with at other companies, he's like, "This is pretty awesome." Typically, like in the past, I've had to we blast out to the world that we are on this list, but we got to pay for that.
Yeah,
we didn't have to pay for that.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to share my screen, and if you follow Brent. On LinkedIn, he just an hour ago posted this post about the importance of random act of kindness. And before we get Brent's thoughts, I'll just play this video.
Yeah, so basically it's this guy who's obviously carrying something very heavy, and the lady's pretty rude that he can't get into the elevator. So this gal, gives him her spot because obviously he's carrying that big water bottle, and she goes upstairs for her interview and finds out the guy that's standing next to her was basically the person she was going to interview with, and not one question. He just said, "You're hired. Go to the HR department." and so pretty interesting, and so it made me think of random acts of kindness, and it reminded me of a story that happened to me or I did years ago when I was still a financial advisor. We have this local coffee shop that I used to tell people just as a joke that this is my third office because I was at that coffee shop so often. And one morning, it's a cold winter morning, much like it is today, and I'm walking into the coffee shop and there's some garbage around the entrance, and I don't know why. I've just always, anytime I see that, I pick up the garbage and throw it in the garbage. And anyway, I walk in and one of the employees saw that I had picked up that garbage and threw it in the trash, and she says to me, "Hey, we want to buy your coffee," and I usually get a muffin, and she says, "We want to buy your coffee and muffin today." I was like, "Why is that?" She's, "Well, we saw you pick up the garbage outside our entrance." And I said, "Oh, well, that's no big deal. You don't have to buy my coffee or muffin for that." And she's like, "No, we want to." And I said, "Okay, well, how about this? I'll buy my coffee and muffin, but I want you to give my free one to the next person." And she was, she kind of lit up a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And I liked it, like a pay it forward type thing. So anyway, I go ahead and have my coffee, and I'm not paying attention to who's going to the register or not. And later on, I get my stuff and I leave. Next morning, I come in and go to get my coffee and my muffin. And the gal says, "You won't believe this." She says, "There must have been 20 something people that we tried to give them that free coffee and muffin that instead paid for theirs and passed it to the next person in line." And I said, "Wow, really?" And she said, "Yeah, but that's not the most amazing part." She said, "The most amazing part was we had a homeless guy come in and was ready to spend his last dollar on a hot cup of coffee. And he was the one that was able to accept the free coffee and the muffin." And I was like, wow, that's just random acts of kindness. Those are things that you can do, much like this gal who sees a person who's carrying something obviously heavy, and instead of being the rude person that says find another elevator. She says, I'll find another elevator. You take my spot, I'll find another elevator. So to me, it was a pretty powerful video, even though it's really quick and short, but it does express a very, very cool message.
Oh, yep. It's when you shared the first time, I was like, don't say that. It made me cry, because that's the power of random acts of kindness, right? It's super random. You don't have to boast about it. But when you hear that, when it hits, like hit that homeless person, like, that's just what makes that better, right?
Yeah.
So, well, awesome Benekiva minute, Brent. I think I'm not going to share anything, because this is just let people sink in, like, how important it is for random act of kindness. What I will end with is that Brent and I have written, we're a little late to the party, but we've written our 2021 predictions for what we see in the insurance industry and the insurtech landscape. And that is something we're going to start rolling out prediction by prediction in the next couple of weeks. If you want a sneak preview of all 5 of our predictions, contact Brent. Brent at benekiva.com. And I give you the hard stuff. So team, until next time, thank you so much, and keep giving.